Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. We're looking at how you can literally hack your own biology to stop feeling trapped when your body hits the panic button. If you've ever felt completely hijacked by your own stress response, well, this is exactly what you need to understand. Ever feel like your body is stuck in a state of high alert? You know the feeling. Your heart races, your hands shake, and your breath becomes so shallow. I really want to validate that physical experience right now. It's intense and it's very real. But more importantly, you aren't trapped in this state. So let's look at the master stress controller. It's time to meet your body's internal switch. The reality here is incredibly empowering. You are not powerless against those intense stress sensations. Our bodies basically operate between two dueling biological states. On one hand, we have the fight or flight system, that high alert, adrenaline pumping mode. And on the flip side, we have the rest and digest system, which is our baseline calm mode. The real trick to mastering your anxiety is simply learning how to manually force a shift from high alert back to baseline calm. And the secret pathway to doing that? You have a vagus nerve. It's actually the longest nerve in your body, acting as a wanderer that connects your brain directly down to your heart, your lungs, and your digestive system. It is the master controller of your parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest mode we just talked about. By stimulating this nerve, you can literally hack your physiology to trigger instant calm throughout your entire body.
Let's start with the quick breath reset, essentially hacking the lungs.
We're going to start with the absolute fastest reset available in our toolkit. Deep inside your lungs, you have these tiny little air sacs called alveoli. Now, when you get stressed and your breathing gets really shallow, these little sacs can actually collapse. And when they collapse, they trap air, which leads to a rapid buildup of carbon dioxide in your bloodstream. Your brain detects that CO2 spike as suffocation, which biologically amplifies those feelings of panic. It's a vicious cycle. Okay, let's dive into this solution. It's called the physiological sigh, and it involves 3 very deliberate steps. First, take a deep, full inhalation through your nose. Then, and this is the magic part right here, follow it immediately with a short, quick second inhale. That little secondary gasp mechanically pops open and fully reinflates those collapsed alveoli sacs. Finally, just perform a long, slow, steady out-breath through your mouth. This simple mechanical breathing cycle forces the carbon dioxide out and rebalances your oxygen levels in mere seconds. Moving on to the mammalian total reboot, also known as the dive reflex. Sometimes, a breathing reset just isn't quite enough to pull you out of a really severe spike in anxiety. And that brings us to a much more intense hack. The mammalian dive reflex is this profound evolutionary survival instinct built into every single one of us. It was literally designed to keep mammals alive in freezing water. When activated, it naturally slows your heart rate way down and intelligently redirects the flow of oxygen away from your limbs and straight into your vital organs, like your brain and your heart. Now, what's really interesting about this is that to make it work, you need cold water, specifically chilling between 50 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. It literally has to be in this exact, shockingly cold range to properly convince your brain that you are submerged in a freezing environment. That temperature is the absolute key to triggering the reflex. To actually do this, you need to follow an exact process. You take a bowl filled with that ice-cold water, and you submerge your face into it. You want to make sure the water specifically hits the area right around your eyes and your upper cheekbones. Then, you simply hold your breath underwater for 15 to 30 seconds. So how does this actually work? Well, when that sudden icy cold hits the specific receptors around your eyes, it sends immediate high-priority signals via your trigeminal nerve directly to your brainstem. This initiates a complete system-wide override of your fight-or-flight response. Your body genuinely believes it needs to conserve oxygen for a deep underwater dive, instantly cutting right through the panic and forcing your physiology to just calm down. Next up, let's explore some sound and pressure hacks. These are your discreet calming tools. As amazing as the dive reflex is, let's be real. Plunging your face into a bowl of ice water isn't exactly practical if you're sitting in a meeting or riding the bus. So, our first discreet hack harnesses the soothing power of the sound, a practice formerly known as Brahmari pranayama. Because the vagus nerve physically connects right alongside your vocal cords, a simple, sustained hum sends direct, stimulating vibrations rippling down your throat. You are essentially massaging the vagus nerve from the inside out. It seems almost too simple, right? But the science backing this up is incredibly robust. Research shows that regular humming effectively lowers your resting heart rate,
Even better, it increases your heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, in the medical world, a high HRV is a massive deal. It's a primary indicator that you possess a healthy, flexible, and highly resilient nervous system.
Now, if making a humming noise isn't an option for you, you can actually use targeted acupressure. There's a specific point called the Hall of Impression, and it's located directly on your forehead, right between your eyebrows. By applying gentle but firm pressure in a slow, circular motion to this exact spot for 5 to 10 minutes, you can significantly alleviate situational stress. It is a fantastic grounding technique that requires absolutely nothing but your fingertip. Another incredibly powerful option is progressive muscle relaxation. Here's how it works. You isolate a muscle group, say your fists or your shoulders, tense it as hard as you possibly can for 5 seconds, and then release all that tension at exactly the same time. By creating extreme, conscious tension, the sudden release brilliantly teaches your brain to sharply distinguish between being completely wound up and experiencing deep, genuine relaxation. To really build your resilience, try putting these into a daily schedule. Practice humming during your morning commute to start your day grounded, and use progressive muscle relaxation for about 5 minutes right before bed to signal your body that it's safe to sleep. Finally, let's talk about safety and reclaiming calm. Think of this as the owner's manual for your nervous system. So, the absolutely crucial point here is that because these hacks literally alter your cardiovascular system, safety has to come first. These are not just fun mental exercises. They are profound physiological interventions. Techniques like the dive reflex or the Valsalva maneuver are designed to significantly and rapidly drop your heart rate. Because of this, if you have a history of heart problems, coronary artery disease, or eating disorders, it is strictly recommended that you consult a doctor before attempting them. Understanding your own biology really does change everything. You now have the blueprint for a personal emergency toolkit. You know exactly how to use your breath, temperature, sound, and pressure to flip the switch on your vagus nerve. So I leave you with this final thought. The next time the panic sets in, will you stay a victim to your nerves, or will you start actively working with them to reclaim your calm?